Hi everyone, my name is Dr Debaditya and I have secured an All India rank of 4429 in this year NEET PG 2025. And I'm going to talk about my strategy, that how I made a jump from 80,000 last year to this rank this year. So this video is going to be divided into my strategy, then my tips, GTs and how to approach them, test and discussion, and any golden advice which I feel like sharing. So first of all, I've done my MBBS from a private peripheral medical college in Maharashtra, and I was not at all a topper student or a genius kind of student. So I was an average student who was studying just for the profs, and I did my internship, and I enjoyed my internship with my friends as well. I barely studied for 3 months and got a rank of 80,000 last year. To be honest, I didn't regret, because I knew that I didn't perform well, I didn't study that much, and I just knew that I could do much better than this. So I decided to take a drop with my parents' support and started studying only from home. I didn't go anywhere or any coaching class and all. So I started there. So I took up Cerebellum's mission plan as well as the BTR plan. So what I did was, I started off with, I had a good base of basic understanding of all the 19 subjects. So I started off with the BTR schedule, ma'am released the schedule and I would strictly follow it. So I started with BTR 2.2, the bonus BTR, and then I would start practicing the PYQs as well as the questions. Now the PYQs gave me an idea that which topics are very important and you can't afford to leave them. So whatever the topics I didn't understand, I would go to the rapid revision or main videos of those topics, and I would just jot down some extra points or some extra things which I think are missing, and I would make their sticky notes and add them to my BTR book. Okay, so that is how I approach for each and every subject. Apart from this, I strictly follow this schedule, whatever the schedule that was released, I ensured that I am doing it very well. Apart from this, I also did the combined modules of 2 subjects, which I will say. One is Patho and one is surgery, that is Bailey and Love, and Patho Robbins, because Patho carries a great weightage and surgery too as well. Apart from this, I did the rapid revision of the subjects Obs Gynae, PSM, surgery, then Patho, Micro, Anatomy and Biochem, because these subjects are carrying the maximum weightage these days, and Biochem is a subject that seems to be very easy, but nowadays they are asking very conceptual questions in biochemistry. So I decided to do rapid revision of these subjects. For the minor subjects, I did BTR because they were sufficient enough to score from BTR itself. So I decided to do just them. For medicine, I did BTR as well as medicine in a day, because again, medicine in a day, that is a very good resource to revise from. After that, now talking about the GTs. Now, how to approach the GTs. First of all, just be clear in your mind that GTs are not a judgment tool. They are just an analyzing tool. They help you review your mistakes. They help you let you know that where you are lacking, what mistakes are you making. So don't compare your score with the topper score. When I started giving GTs, my score was stuck at around 120 correct, then 125 correct, then 130 correct. Okay, so my score was stuck for these two for around 2 months at 130 correct itself. But then what I realized was that I was not revising very nicely. So after my first cycle of revision, my score went up to 140 correct. 140. Then as I kept revising, I made it to 145, then 150, and just like that. So now how to review the GT, that is the most important. So first of all, whenever you are giving a GT, you make sure that you have an exam scenario, you are sitting in front of your desktop or laptop, whatever, and give it on a laptop, and there is no disturbance for 3.5 hours. You are just concentrating on your laptop and answering those questions. Okay, so after giving the GT, don't check the topper score, I will say. Just see your score, and first of all, you review the wrong ones, what mistakes you have made or what mistakes you could have avoided. So you categorize the mistakes into 3 parts, whether they are recall errors, or they are silly mistakes, or they are conceptual mistakes. Now for the recall errors, I will suggest you that you have to revise more and more. You have to do active recall of those topics, so that you do not make these mistakes again and again. Okay, so just do the active recall of those topics. In case you have made a silly mistake, then you have to practice more and more of MCQs, because again, silly mistakes are something that will cost you very dearly in the exam, on the day of exam. So even if you make the simplest question mistakes, that will push your rank behind by 1000, 2000, 3000, because in NEET PG, it is not the difficult question that determines your rank. it is the simplest, it is the easiest one. If you are making them correct, like to the fullest, then you are getting a top rank. Otherwise, if you are making silly mistakes in them, then you will be regretting, you know what will happen. And if you are making conceptual errors, in that case, I will suggest that just go to the rapid revision notes, just go through that particular topic, topic which mistake you have made, memorize that topic, understand it very nicely then and there itself, and then finally, if you feel that you have to add any extra points, then make a sticky note, add it to your table, or you can say you add it to your wall, or add it to your BTR book, like whichever is the final source. What I did was that I made some sticky notes on the wall, and of the mistakes that I used to make, or the topics that I think that I will be forgetting on the day of exam, and I need to revise them again and again. And some of the topics I added them to my BTR book as well, because that was my ultimate source of revision. I knew that I had these two books, BTR volume 1 and 2. I had to revise from them fully, because that is what matters. Your resource should be concise. Okay, your resource should be sorted. That is very important. So after that, now talking about the test and discussion. Again, test and discussion are something which I feel they are very, very, very important, because you know they expose you to different kinds of question, different types of question, how to answer them, how to rule out the wrong ones and derive the right one. Again, you don't need to mug up the answers, you don't need to memorize the answers. It is just that you need to derive the right one. Okay, so like there is any question in which what is the investigation of choice they have asked. So you have studied something that, like suppose MRI is the investigation of choice for that particular question. You have studied it from the notes and something like that. Now that option is not given. That option is only that MRI option is only not given in the paper. So what can be the closest answer? Like what is the best possible answer that you can give so that that question becomes correct? That is where test and discussion comes into play. You know, that is where you can correctly answer the questions if you have done them very thoroughly, if you have studied them very nicely. Okay, so that is the reason that they are very important. And in case how to answer the questions, now again I will say that in case of long format questions like which have around 9 to 10 lines, first of all you read the options so that you can open up a file in your mind that which topic, which subject they are asking. Then you read the last 2 lines, that what they want to know, and after that you give a final read. You know, you just a first read, and then again, and then you answer the question, because in that way you will not zone out. Okay, so that is important. Now this is how test and discussion is very important. Apart from this, now the mindset. Now again, this journey is really very tough, and it's very exhausting. I know how it feels like. I've been through this. There will be many problems, you know, personal problems, family problems, issues and all. But what matters the most is the consistency. I've said this again, consistency is the key to success. If you are consistent throughout this journey, throughout your preparation, if you take your preparation till the last day, you show up every day, then I'm telling you, you will get the reward. You will be rewarded. And all God's plan, again, God's plan is the best plan. Just trust yourself, trust your resources, have faith in yourself, and don't fall in the trap of FOMO. Because again, if you are doing too many resources at the end, you will be very confused and you will not know what to study, how to study, and from where what I've done, you will be confused. Okay, so you don't know how to approach. So just stick to one particular resource, follow it thoroughly, and just stay. You know, just show up every day. Okay, and quit social media, and you have to give up everything, because you know sacrifices are something that you need to make to achieve this kind of rank. So I feel that have a positive mindset. What I did was I quit social media. I used to do yoga. I did meditation. I listened to some good music. Again, that helped me a lot. And at the same time, I also listened to like Apu sir's some motivation lectures, or Praveen sir's motivation talks, because you know that helped me a lot in this journey. And on the day of exam, not on the day of exam, you just need to have a very positive and a cool mindset. Have a banana, and you know, attend the exam with a very cool mindset. Just be relaxed. You don't need to think too much. Trust your instincts and answer the question. And the last few days before the exam, I would suggest that make a choti copy, make a dedicated choti copy, or you can say the GT copy. Okay, just keep writing those mistakes in those copy, and keep revising them again and again. Again, I will say that spaced revision is something that will ensure that those things are there in your mind. Like whenever you see that question again, it will strike you that yes, I've done that question, so I can answer it. So try to do spaced revision. That will help you a lot. And revise your choti copy, revise all the scoring system, grading system, and then review the GT copies, do all the bookmark PYQs, because at the end of the day PYQs are very, very important. And apart from this, also do the midday modules and late night PYQs, because that is something I did on a daily basis. Even if the marathon sessions ended up very late at night, like around 12:30 AM, I ensured that I'm doing the late night PYQs the next day early in the morning. So that is how I approached. And apart from this, what I did was I did the custom modules on a daily basis. Like I started off with 50 MCQs in the morning and then 50 MCQs at night before sleeping. Then gradually, as the exams were nearer, I increased the frequency to 100 to 150 MCQs. So technically I was giving a GT on a daily basis, but yeah, so it was actually a mind exercise for me, because that will help you to build a reflex about how to answer the question in that way. So that is the reason custom modules are very important, and they also help you to memorize the topic very nicely, very specific things and the most important things that you should not miss out. Okay. And apart from this, now talking about how to give GTs, like how many times you have to give GT. So I will say that you start giving GT as early as possible. Okay, I know that the scores will be very low, but you start giving GTs as early as possible. There is no point of, because there will be you will be thinking that I will complete all the 19 subjects at one go very nicely. I will revise each and everything and then I will start giving GTs. Trust me, that time is never going to come, because it is not possible to cover each and everything of all the 19 subjects. There will be certain things that you will be missing out. There will be certain things that you feel like you don't feel like doing and something like that, because that is too much of extra for you. That is too much of burden for you. So whatever you are doing, it should be like, whether it is limited also, just make sure that you have mastered that thing very nicely. Now BTR is something that I mastered very well. To be honest, I revised BTR a total of around 9 to 10 times, and by the end of the exam, like by the time exam approached or by the last week, everything was there in my mind. All the pages I could memorize, or I could visualize those images in my mind. So that really helped me to answer the questions. And apart from this, keep revising the choti copy and the GT copy, the bookmark PYQs, and the GTs. If I suggest that, first of all, you need to give the GT once a month. Like just give one GT once a month. Then gradually increase the frequency. Like as the exams are nearer, you start giving GTs every 2 weeks, like every fortnightly. And finally, you give the GT every week. I will say that you give GT one per week. If possible, like if you can do it, then you can also go for 2 GTs per week. Okay, if you can do it, that is totally up to you. But I will suggest that just before the exam, give at least 1 GT per week. Okay. So, and in the last week, just revise your stuff. Don't try anything new. Don't give any new GT. Don't fall in the trap of FOMO. And that is my last advice that I'd like to say. So, all the very best to all the future aspirants, and you'll rock it. Yeah. Thank you.